Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE Monday Night Raw on February 3rd, 2014. And, for the most part, I felt like Raw came off as a very good show. In general, there were a few down points in there, and I'll definitely get into those, and I'll get into one major glorified issue a little bit later on. But starting out the show with the Authority and Randy Orton, and of course Randy Orton continuing his little crybaby type gimmick with the Authority about how he's being treated as champion, feels like he should only be in certain types of matches and shouldn't be in the Elimination Chamber match. Honestly, I felt like it came off really good, and just on the aspect that even though the Authority is supposed to be the heel bosses and everything on that aspect, they come off kind of like a face when it comes towards Randy Orton, because they feel like they're putting on this match to try to entertain the fans, even though they're behind Randy Orton in every way, shape, and form. He's continually complaining about the matches that he's put in. So this leads to what will be a series of matches over the next probably 5 shows or something in that sense, where he faces all of the people from the Elimination Chamber, starting with Daniel Bryan's match on the Raw show. And again, of course, with their match, it came off as a great match. As a matter of fact, they really did it. They performed that match in a completely different way than they typically would probably have performed this match, at least what I would have seen in their past matches, where Orton, the heel, usually you would figure he would be the one in control in the beginning portions of the match, leading to like a comeback and then into a back and forth type deal. But they reversed the roles this time, and it actually came off really well, with Daniel Bryan controlling the main portion of the match, then Orton taking control, and then they had a massive back and forth leading into the finish of the match, with Daniel Bryan actually winning, and of course getting attacked afterwards by Kane and Randy Orton, to continue on the aspect that the Authority is behind Randy Orton in this case, even though Daniel Bryan gets the clean win in this on this match. Really good match again. Glad to be able to see that one. Another area I really liked was the tag team title match inside the steel cage with the New Age Outlaws and Cody Rhodes and Goldust. Just a really fun cage match. I like the aspect that they went against the grain instead of having it be escape through the door or over the top rope or pinfall or submission. They only went with a pinfall or submission type cage match, and in my mind those are a lot more fun to watch, just on the aspect that the cage match is supposed to be almost like a rivalry killer, and it's supposed to confine them to the ring. So having it only be a pinfall or submission type match, in my mind, makes it come off a lot better. And of course, the ending of the match with Cody Rhodes doing the moonsault off of the top of the cage, though a bit botched because he did mostly miss the Road Dogg. It looked good, but it was somewhat botched there, and it's a very dangerous spot. You always worry about the person doing that maneuver. So at least it came off decently. And then, of course, leading to the end of the match where Billy Gunn gets the win. But overall, really good tag team cage match in there for that one. The other area I actually liked as well were the 2 different promos between the Shield and the Wyatt family for after each of their 6-man tag matches, which in that sense also were really good 6-man tag team matches as well. But they also delivered great promos in there to go along with it, with the Wyatt family interrupting after the Shield's 6-man tag match, and then vice versa, with the Shield interrupting after the Wyatt family 6-man tag matches. And I just like the aspect that they each use their signature styles of cutting promos. Like, you had that black-esque background for Bray Wyatt cutting his promo, and then you had that that bowels of the arena area for the Shields promo. I really like the fact that they used both their signature type style for promos to help put this over a little bit more. So this basically leads to a few of the things that I didn't really like about the show. And honestly, they weren't really all that much. It was just really two things in general. I didn't like the Bad News Barrett deal because it didn't come off all that great. And then obviously it seems like they're gonna start some kind of storyline with him and Jerry the King Lawler at this point. And honestly, after everything that happened with Jerry the King Lawler with the heart attack and everything, I don't want to see him in the ring anytime soon or ever again, really. I just want him to be behind the commentator's booth. The other aspect that I really didn't like about the show was the Batista, well, not necessarily Batista's promo himself, but Alberto Del Rio's delivery of the promo. It just came off so poorly. Del Rio's promo, Batista's not the best on the mic, and honestly, in some cases can be really bad on the mic, but sometimes at least decent. Del Rio in this case just came off absolutely horrible. It was just a poorly delivered promo. You had no idea where Del Rio was actually going with it, and it did not come off good at all. At least in my mind, it didn't come off good at all. And this basically leads to what I feel I will decide to talk about. And I spoke about it in another video, and this is all depending on whether or not it's a work or a shoot, or at least a legit type deal. And I'm leaning more towards the side of the legit side, with the whole CM Punk potentially of walking out of the WWE over the last week. And don't get me wrong, I personally am a CM Punk fan. I have always enjoyed his work. I've enjoyed it. His promo skills, even the commentary time that he spent on there, his in-ring time, ever since he came into the WWE. And you got, of course, over the last week where they said, he walked out just a few hours before Raw and everything on that sense from the week before. And honestly, at this point, even though as a CM Punk fan, I would consider him in the wrong in this case. Only on the aspect that it's just very unprofessional in any way, shape, or form to, even no matter how frustrated or you don't like where it's going, or you don't like where you're going with your storylines or anything like that, it's just very unprofessional just to walk out of the job. And it does bring to mind the factor that, back in 2002, Stone Cold Steve Austin, or it wasn't 2002, it was 2003. Stone Cold Steve Austin walked out of the company not once but twice. He walked out like about a week or so after WrestleMania, and then he did the big walkout that got all the press in June. And if it is going towards the terms of legit with CM Punk's walkout, I find him in the wrong in this case. He apparently, yes, he did talk to if the legit side goes on it, he did talk to Vince, a few hours before Raw was supposed to go on the air. He at least talked to him before he went home. But I would still find him in the wrong in this case, because you have all this, you have his storylines going into not just WrestleMania, but maybe into Elimination Chamber, that looked like they're building like a sub storyline with him and Kane before they would go on to what would be a Triple H CM Punk feud going into WrestleMania. And at that point, you have committed dates and you have a committed contract, and you should live up to that contract regardless. And after your contract's done, or even if he walked up to Vince and said, "Hey, I'm frustrated, I'm burnt out, I'm injured, I'll give you, I know we have these plans going into WrestleMania, I'll work those, but after that I want out," that would have come off at least as somewhat more professional and a better way of probably handling that situation, or even trying to work with them about maybe changing a few aspects to any of the storylines or anything in that sense. Would have come off a lot better than just leaving in that sense, just to me. personally. And again, like I said, I'm a CM Punk fan. Always enjoyed his work. I hope he comes back, and if even if it's just a complete work, that's fine. I lead towards more of it being a legit deal because they haven't even really been bothering to mention his names. They've been doing a few other things, and it's an interesting situation to be with because you're trying to figure out whether or not it's a work or it's a completely legit deal. So if it's a work, okay, whatever, great. If it's legit, CM Punk's completely in the wrong here. You have a contract, you should live up to it, regardless, or come up with a different solution than just walking out at that point in time. They have been saying he's been having some nagging injuries. He's been a little bit frustrated where his push has been going. But you're going to have your good times and the bad times. And when he got that new contract, he had really good times. He had the long title reign and everything. And yeah, he's gone on some somewhat of bad times at this point. He's still considered a top guy within the fan base and within the company. But, he's not the top guy at this point in time. So in this case, you should stick it out through the thick and thin, or at least come up with a better way of handling it than just walking out of the company at that point in time. So yeah, that's basically what I had to say about that. And yeah, that's my review this week for Monday Night Raw, and I thank you guys for watching.